it's said on the one hand, oh, it's not a big part of the budget. Well, that's not the point. I mean, that's only an argument that somebody could make who has never really had a real job and never had to, do the hard work to pay the taxes. As much as 50, sometimes more than 50% of your income goes to state and federal taxes. It's the kind of mentality that you would have if you've never really had to work or meet a payroll. But secondly, the argument from the part of the Democrats is there's a constitutional crisis, and there is no constitutional crisis. The president has broad powers. I used to be staff director of the Government Oversight Committee, which has jurisdiction over the Budget Act and the Impoundment Control Act, which all of these disputes involve. The president has very, very broad authority to reduce spending, cut the workforce, to eliminate programs like USAID that were developed by an executive order by President Kennedy in 1961. The president has broad authority, and what the courts are going to do here is just maybe nip him at the edges. Maybe say things like, statutorily required spending, that things that are earmarked you have to spend on. But very little of the federal budget is actually earmarked. So the president has plenty of authority. You want a couple examples of a president holding back congressionally approved funds? Look what Joe Biden did on the wall. I mean, when he came into office, the wall had congressionally authorized funds. He said, oh, we're going to do a bunch of studies on it, and he found ways of not spending what Congress had mandated. Look what Joe Biden said in 2014 with aid to Ukraine. He said, you better fire this prosecutor that's investigating Burisma, where my son works. You better do it before I leave in 6 hours, or you're not getting a dime of this congressionally authorized foreign aid. I mean, there are tons of examples of Democratic presidents having done this kind of thing. But the more important point is the president's authority is very, very broad legally on this. The president, Trump, is observing whenever the courts have put the brakes on it. Trump has not blown that off. But ultimately, it'll be found that the president has broad authority, and the Democrats, what they should be doing is saying, yes, Biden made a bunch of bad mistakes in terms of this waste and abuse. Let's get in and help you fix it. Mm-hmm. Rather, they look like they are defending the indefensible